Hey everyone, Rascal here.
And Mama. Welcome to Paws On Animation and our podcast.
Today we're doing another countdown video, only this time is for the events that we think shouldn't have happened in the Ben 10 franchise.
Hence the title, 9 Things That Should Have Never Happened in the Ben 10 franchise. And this list covers the entire run from the classic to the reboot and in between. And while we love this franchise dearly and its stories and the legacy and man of action, there were just a few things, some minor, some large, that we believe could have been left out. But
before we start, be sure to like, subscribe, and notification updates on future podcasts and Model Pause videos.
Absolutely. And as we give these to you, we want to note that they are not being given any particular order. It's not from worst to least. It's just the 9 things that we feel should have never happened in the Ben 10 universe.
Right.
We are excited about the upcoming live action Ben 10.
Right.
Still, and again, we love this franchise.
Absolutely.
So, no hate, please, because we have no hate for this franchise.
Right.
So, let's get started. Tell us if you agree with these. If you have some others that you think we missed, let us know in the comments below as well.
Right.
So, we're going to start with number 1.
Charmcaster and Morningstar ship in the reboot of Ben 10.
No. Not only are they kids, and he is maniacal.
The entire relationship just seems wrong in the reboot. Yeah. Because when you had it in Ultimate Alien, it was an interesting idea because she was made of power like Gwen. He wanted power. They had I guess a toxic romance type trope.
Beautiful, and
right.
She was desperate looking for someone to be with, and he was desperately looking for someone to take advantage of.
Right. So the thing had worked in Ultimate Alien only for 1 episode, and it was clear no, these two need to stay away from each other pretty much. But then we get to the reboot, and you have to keep in mind that they've kind of just changed everything around. In the reboot version, Michael Morningstar is a teenage star who's supposed to be a parody of Robert Pattinson in Twilight. And in here, it's kind of known that he steals energy from women and things and stuff. And some of them don't mind, and they allow him to do it and don't care. And it's kind of disturbing. And then they have Charmcaster in here, who is a completely different character. She was a normal kid, found a magic book, then became goth, and after this thing with Gwen, she turns evil. And part of her turning evil is that Morningstar is a verbally abusive boyfriend at just 14. And it's really wrong.
They're about 9.
Right.
She's 14.
She's supposed to be 12, 10 or 12. You know he's a teen. And they've got this, it's a really toxic, abusive relationship. It's but they're children. It's one thing if they were 18 or older, like the Ultimate Alien, but they're kids doing it. It's the whole thing ended up being really wrong. I'm even sure I got on TV.
And it doesn't work because if you were familiar, as you mentioned, with the previous incarnation, it was funny because you knew it wasn't ever going to work, and she figured out Gwen's help that he really didn't like her, and it wasn't ever going to go anywhere. Here, it simply doesn't work, and it just should have never been a part of the reboot.
Right.
Now, the second one we want to notice that Gwen's crush on Hex and Omniverse. This is one that Rascal really can't stand.
Yeah, because if this was supposed to be canon to the other series prior to it, and for here they have Hex become a magic teacher at a magic school in a magic realm pretty much, or in a college. And I know for a lot of people thinking he was pretending to be good, but no, at some point Hex actually reformed and wanted to use his magic for good. We don't know how it happened, but we thought that was actually an interesting idea for Hex to change his ways. And he's actually a good teacher. But then it gets to a point where, Gwen, of course, is the smartest one there. She gets everything right. And there are times when Hex flatters her, but it looks like there's points where she has a sort of teacher crush on him. and it seems a bit awkward because this guy's trying to kill her many times as a kid, and now she's suddenly liking, like, don't tell me you got Stockholm syndrome or
So
something.
I guess it's just a duplication of Charmcaster and Michael Morty.
Yeah. Now nothing ever came of it. She's still with Kevin. There's no ship or anything, but it just seemed like this is weird when this guy tried to kill her as a kid when she was Lucky Girl, and they've been adversaries all this time. You can't do that hating each other, loving each other thing. You can't do that here. But it's really minor, so.
Well, here is my pet peeve for this franchise, number 3.
Monster Kevin returning in every version of the series over and over and over.
I just wanted to stop every time I saw, like, why is he back? Why is he back as the monster? Why is he Monster Kevin? Why is this happening again?
Yeah.
And I remember saying when we started watching the reboot, I said, oh, surely it's not going to happen in here.
No, it was just done in a different way.
It just stop.
Right?
Stop relying on Monster Kevin. It's overused. Please stop.
Yeah.
Please don't have Monster Kevin in the live action.
Please, no.
Please don't do it.
Right. The first time it happened, it was a shocking classic.
Yes.
Then when it happened, Alien Force, well, he wasn't stuck as an alien, he was stuck as, like, Metamorpho Man in
Right.
Justice League. It's like, oh, wow, that's kind of bad, too.
It was okay at first.
Right.
But then it kept going on way too long.
Right. Ultimate Alien, he turned to a monster to stop Agrigor from absorbing everything. Then he wanted to absorb everything. It was like, we're doing this again. Omniverse. Okay, he's not really in here that much. They're going to stop. No, these guys want to turn him into a villain too. It was like, dang, stop. Then we get to the reboot. Okay, he has no Osmosian powers of his own. They gave him a Negatrix. And they took away, they don't have albedo, so he has it. Okay, what do? He turns the negative monster versions of Ben's aliens, and then on top of it, something happens to the watch, and he starts uncontrollably transforming, and he can't stop. So it's like, so no matter what, there's some type of thing wrong with Kevin. And like, you kind of feel bad for him now.
So I just wanted to stop. So please, 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 if you happen to be listening, please don't use Monster Kevin in the live action version reboot. Thank you.
Right.
Very much.
Right.
Number 4, and we both feel strongly about this. Ben 10 Gen should have never ever happened.
Nope. And you're gonna see a podcast on this later on for July. And Benjen 10, sorry, it's kind of weird how they have it. That's literally how they have the title of it. It's supposed to be the big finale to the Ben 10 reboot. And this one, they try to recreate Heroes United by having Rex and Ben meet each other to save the day or the world. And one interesting thing the one thing we did like is that Ben and Rex are in the same universe instead of parallel worlds. We actually were pretty okay with that since Secret Saturn's in the same world too. It's like it's been the Benverse or something. So we were fine with that. The worst part was everything else they came after, to the point where they tried to duplicate the success of Heroes United, and then try to lead on to say Rex will be the next hero to protect the world now that Ben's vacation is over. But it doesn't work because Ben doesn't act like a hero for majority of the series.
No, it just didn't work. And what they decided, or I should say how they decided to write Generator Rex's character in here was just, I'm sorry, it was abominable. And we didn't like at the end when they decided to let him leave on his own with Bobo Haha. And Ben just lets him leave and doesn't say, hey, Grandpa Max, we need to help this kid, he's alone. Right. Doesn't happen.
Right.
And not only was it uncharacteristic of Ben not to want to help, but it didn't make sense that they let a kid who was 10 with a monkey, yes, the monkey can talk, but still with a monkey, just go off on his own.
And he's being hunted by
like his
government.
avatar or something. No.
And he's being hunted by a government faction. And the way they had it looked like they were going to set up a backdoor pilot to a Generator Rex reboot just taking place in the Ben 10 universe. And it looks like nothing's come out of it, thank goodness, because I think if it had, I think they would have enraged more people. There are already some that really didn't like this version, and some people did, which is fine. But I think seeing them go through Generator Rex 2 and Tarnishing Nat for a lot of people that really love both shows. I think that would have been even worse for Man of Action Cartoon Network. You already had them upset over other reboots. Them rebooting this and ruining it too, I think would have been colossal.
Absolutely. Now, number 5, and let us know what you think of this in the comments below.
It's the Alien Extinction Special Retcon.
That purged all other universes in the Ben 10 franchise.
Like a Disney style.
What in the heck? This is like CW and Disney all over again.
Right. So, we were going to do a podcast on this, but it was so jarring that I don't think we could even do it. So, what happens in here is that a version of Alien X is coming in to destroy all these different versions of Bens in different universes and taking their Omnitrixes. He gets to reboot Ben, and he's trying to clearly take him out.
Reboot Ben, the Ben that Bennett Dudley can't stand.
Right.
For good reason.
Right. And they don't know why he's there. But for some, he just takes the watch. Other times, no joke, he kills them and takes the watch. And they have a Grandpa Maxim and another universe come in. And at first, it's treated like, okay, it's time travel. He's going through different timelines where Ben has the watch. No, they established that he's going through parallel universes. And Omniverse had this too with other Bens. It's like, okay, that's no big deal. They've done this plotline before. But then they change the story all over again when they bring in Alien Force Ben. They have now established that all the other series that came before it, and the reason why Ben 10 Reboot is so vastly different from the others, is that Ben 10 Reboot is its own universe, and so are the other shows. That means Classic, Alien Force, Ultimate Alien, Omniverse. They're all their own universes, completely separate continuities, and when they come into Ben's universe, they don't know each other. They all have different outcomes now.
Which was like, no. And have a feeling that this is going to possibly affect the live action as well.
Right.
Since this is now considered canon. I hope not. But for us, this just should have never happened.
Right.
It's like spitting in the faces unintentionally of all the fans of each one of the other versions.
Right. And we hope that the live action is its own universe too now.
Possibly. So number 6, Gwen 10 episode in the classic just shouldn't have had it, period.
Right.
And in this one, it gives us an idea of how Gwen would have reacted and behaved if she had found the Omnitrix instead of Ben.
Think of it like Ben 10, what if? So in
like
here,
she's our what if.
right. And in here, only Ben knows something's wrong, and he's the only one aware that he's in another universe that he doesn't get the watch. And this time when Gwen finds it, the result is actually really different. Now we understand the purpose of the episode. We see Gwen with the Omnitrix and thinking, okay, she'll be more responsible with it because of how she is. She actually acts how you think Ben would have acted. She's reckless. She wants to fight crime all day long, use the powers for reckless things, and just having fun and cutting loose, which what you thought Ben wanted to do. And in a way, it did show that it wasn't gonna be like how you thought it was gonna be just because someone else different had the watch, depending on how you use it. When Ben got the watch, when he said he wanted to help people, he meant it. Even with his mischievous side, he really did want to be a hero and make a difference with the watch. Gwen was more selfish with it. And while that was an interesting idea to show that Ben truly was a hero, even in the world that he didn't have the watch, he still had the heart of a hero. It was a little much to see Gwen just be a jerk a lot of the episode. We get an alternate version, but we would have preferred if it just didn't have the episode. It had pros of showing the deeper roots of Ben's heroism, and that was a big plus for the episode. But the negative was Gwen, and she could just kick butt and everything, and it's long before it became a status quo. But we would have preferred if they just didn't have the episode, because Ben doesn't even get the watch at the end. It goes to someone else again, so he just doesn't wear it. And we would have liked if they just kind of skipped it, even though we do understand that Ben is a hero. we could have just done without it because
Yeah.
it's non-canon anyway.
It was kind of like a what if that we're glad, unlike Disney, never came to be.
Right.
So number 7, all of Ben's heroes being turned into villains.
Right. And by that we mean the people he looked up to as a kid and as a teen. Like, 2 of them, one was Captain Kangaroo or Kangaroo Commando or something like that. We knew it was a parody. And oh yeah, from the classic it was Kangaroo Commando. Sorry, I was mixing it up. And then in Ultimate Alien it was Captain Nemesis. But really, that name should have been like a clue right there. And in this one, both of Ben's heroes, everyone he looks up to, turns out to be jerks. They're incredibly selfish. They're vain. They don't like they're out of the spotlight. Right. In the first one, he wanted his TV show back. He wanted his money back. He was upset that people weren't interested in the TV show anymore. He didn't want to share the spotlight. He was very arrogant and rude, and he was going to be a villain after seeing Ben's aliens, thinking they were from a rival cartoon, and he was going to be a villain just to destroy any competition he had. And then the similar thing happened with Captain Nemesis, another
he was just a lunatic.
from the time, yeah. Both of these characters had the same issue where any new younger hero came in, they would turn just crazy and they want to kill him.
And on top of that, he really was having an inappropriate relationship with Nocturne.
Yeah, Jennifer Nocturne. Yeah, and it was like, they clarify she's like maybe 18 or slightly younger, and they insinuate there's something going on with that.
Yeah.
That's why, and
Heavily.
and there's part of why he's crazy jealous of Ben, and not in a way of like it's minor and you're kind of laughing. No, it's like so jealous he wants to kill Ben, and this kind of like really hurts Ben because the 2 people he look up to both want to be villains and both want to destroy him. That hurts probably a lot of people because this is a trope they use a lot now, having the childhood heroes or the TV stars they love playing superheroes are crazy, insane, villainous, maniacal, and murderous. And it's like, it makes them not want to have TV heroes anymore, which is really sad. And I'm sorry that Ben 10 unfortunately fell into that.
Right, and again, such a only positive role he has is Grandpa Max.
Right. So now number 8 is one for Mama. The Ultimate Alien forms, which were just made to get more toys.
And it was so funny that they even made fun of this themselves in the Ultimate Alien series.
Yes, on the last episode, Vilgax comes at the end and thinks he's gonna destroy Ben. He said, "Do you have any last words or tricks up your sleeve to try to stop me? You're gonna use Diamond Head, Swamp Fire, one of your tiresome ultimate forms." And it's like, yeah, we know. We're tired of using them too.
Yes, we knew this was a mistake. So, yeah, we'll give you a pass on that one because you realize this should have never happened.
Yeah, because the ultimate forms really serve no purpose.
And most of them were hideous. I'm sorry.
Right, and they really weren't like stronger than his regular form. They just kind of looked weird, and it got to a point where he was just using a bunch of ultimate alien forms, and then aliens you've never seen, they just suddenly come up. And Mama said that you could tell when Dwayne McDuffie or someone else writes it. When someone else writes it, it's ultimate forms and aliens you never heard of. Like, who are these people? And then when it gets to Dwayne McDuffie, all of his classics come back immediately. Way big, upgrade, Swamp Fire. He's like, okay, he wrote it. But they advertised these toys quite a bit on TV at the time Ultimate Alien was out. It was just to make some extra sales or to complete a already complete collection and add some more to it pretty much.
So this was just something that never should have happened. Ultimate Alien, great series in terms of the beginning.
Yeah, the first
of the
half.
series, and then the later it got into it, the more it kind of started to fall apart, and ultimately it was just unnecessary.
Right.
And last but not least, number 9, Ben 10 Galactic Monsters.
Yes, and this arc was in the Omniverse series. And for some reason, every Ben 10 series every season of the series had a short little arc with a theme going on. One was about fighting malware, one was about fighting albedo, one was about time travel, one was about Ben 10,000 and so forth. And some of them got really dumb toward at the end. But for Galactic Monsters was the most bizarre thing they'd ever come up with, just in general. And in this one, it's about 5 or 6 episodes where Ben, Rook, Rad, I'm not kidding you, it's a duck named Rad, gets stranded on this Transylvanian planet with Transylvanian monsters in space. And the entire arc is about them finding this plumber who's like a werewolf plumber, I'm not kidding. And they also have to stop Ghost Freak and his band of universal alien monsters, pretty much. Like they had a werewolf, a ghost, they tried to resurrect a vampire, they had a mummy and a Frankenstein. And it's like, who thought of this?
And I think for me, the biggest thing that I caught, I said, why does the environment look like it's from Soul?
Yeah.
It looked like it was exactly taken, just ripped out of the Soul Eater anime universe and put into
Right.
the 10 universe.
Not only that, they also steal from the Monsters, the classic Monster series, where there's a running gag that because the whole planet's happening by monsters, Ben's normal face looks like he's a hideous monster, and everyone, including Rook, says he is kind of ugly looking. And when he gets like allergic reaction and has like bumps and things up his face where you can't see him, suddenly he's a handsome guy. And you can't tell if you're supposed to laugh at that or not, because they call Ben ugly so much on this season that it's kind of like, can you just stop for like insulting this kid? And when he gets the rashes and everything, suddenly like, oh, he looks so good, and it's like, no, stop! What are they doing? The whole season was just like, who wrote this? Whose idea was this? Why was this in here? And nothing to do with the Omniverse storyline. It just seemed like they wanted to do something fun and spooky for Halloween. They already had a Scooby-Doo episode. We didn't need a whole monster, soul eater type thing going on as an arc as well.
Now maybe this was geared toward a particular audience.
Yeah.
And maybe it was for them. And it wasn't so much that it was a bad idea. It just didn't fit in the Ben 10 universe.
No, not at all.
If you think it did, let us know in the comments below and let us know why.
Right.
So these are our top 9 things we think should have never happened in the Ben 10 universe. If you have others you think apply, please let us know in the comments below.
Right.
Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you have your own?
Right.
Let us know.
And if you haven't already, subscribe for updates and weekly videos of your favorite anime series, animated shows, and all things animation.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us for Superhero Month.
Yeah.
This is getting off to a great start, and during this entire month, we will be covering the entire Ben 10 franchise minus Generator Rex,
Right.
which will come later in this year.
Right.
So stay tuned so you can hear our thoughts on the entire Ben 10 franchise.
Right. So, thank you so much for watching. I'm Mask Entertainment.
And then Mom Entertainment.
Have a fantastic day.
Peace.
And reporters sitting flashing lights, trying to walk around, man, who the hell are you? What you wanna do? Well, man, it's on you. Man, it's on you. Met her in my dreams, she was my queen. A castle in the mountaintops, rivers and streams, plucking sunlight from the sky in my pocket.